Hello, extraordinaries, and welcome to another exciting episode of the High Performance Consciousness podcast. My name is Matthew Paddy, and again, I will be your host for today's episode. We are going to continue the conversation off the back of the last episode, the previous episode called Manifesting 101. So I have a quick conundrum for you, or a statement, as it were. It is this regarding manifesting. 1 plus 1 does not equal 2. So let's dive in and explain that for a moment. 1 plus 1 does not equal 2. So what does it equal? It equals 1. 1 plus 1 equals 1. And here's why. In the previous episode of Manifesting 101, you may remember, if you've listened to it, maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times if you're super enthusiastic and like to dive into these areas and these topics, that you would remember that I made the comment and the statement that we do not attract what we want, we attract what we are. We do not experience what we want, we experience what we are. We do not receive and experience results that we desire based on what we want or what we desire. We experience them because we have become the experience ahead of time, which means we are enrolling ourselves in a new now. Moment by moment, awareness carries us into the new now, into our new future. And so in relating it to the next level, that 1 plus 1 does not equal 2, as conventional mathematics would tell you, that in manifesting, one thought and one aligned feeling produces one aligned result. So let's go to basics. The mind and thinking is electric. What you think is an electric pulse, a signal that is broadcast from you into the field of potential. So your electric thinking is a signal that is broadcast out from you into the field. That's one. Your feeling is the magnetic principle that draws that which you have determined and that which you've desired, as made clear that you want, back to you from the field. So one thought electrically is shared with the field. One aligned feeling with that thought produces the return effect and the magnetizing effect of that experience or that desire fulfilled back to you. So in fact, one thought, electric, one feeling, magnetic, produces one outcome, one result, which is fulfillment. Does that make sense? So it's a very, very simple equation, and it's not there to bust your brain or to bust your bubble. It is a very simple formula. You are sharing electricity with the field, and you are experiencing and sharing magnetism back from the field by way of how you feel. So typically in manifesting, any desire that you seek or want to experience is built upon this formula. And the reason why most people do not experience the level of manifesting or the strength and power of manifesting that they desire is because they do not follow this principle, that 1 plus 1 equals 1. They believe unconsciously that their past is going to follow them into the future, and they stack the strength of that belief in its favor, because we continually repeat the same habits, the same behaviors, make the same types of decisions, give up before we should, fail to practice when we should, and all those other sort of things. So really, really simply, a lot of the conversations that I have had over the last, I'd say 3 to 5 years, especially with my clients, and I mention my clients a lot or refer to clients a lot because they are an invaluable resource, they're a valuable feedback system, and really communication with the field, what's going on in the market, what's going on in the minds and the hearts of business leaders, of people, of humans that desire their desires, that want to experience more, that want to elevate their experience or want to upgrade their reality. And often when we feel trapped in our reality is because we are still subscribed to the old way of thinking and the old way of feeling. And the old way of thinking and feeling is supported by an underlying belief that nothing is going to change because I'm yet to see evidence of change, because I'm conditioned to look outside of me for change to occur outside first rather than inside. So if you want to change your reality, you must change. You must change what you are doing. You must change who you are being. You are the product of your results. You are the experience of your results. You are not your desires or your wants as they are. You are the experience of those fulfilled. Does that make sense? So at a deeper level of manifesting, working for every area of your life, 1 + 1 does equal 1, because it does not matter what you give your mental attention to and your emotional attention to, as long as they are aligned, and in neuroscience and heart math, it is called coherence. As long as you have coherence, the 1 + 1, you will draw to you that which you desire and have decided to fulfill within yourself through your beingness right now. It does not matter whether it's the house or the car, the $10,000, the $500,000 revenue, whatever it's going to be. It does not matter what you focus your attention on, provided you follow the 1 + 1 = 1. Where we get unstuck and where we feel stuck is we second guess the formula, and we do it unconsciously because of old patterns and beliefs, because of old ways of thinking, feeling, and being. We discharge ourselves from a new reality and stay enrolled and hospitalized, as it were, in the old paradigm, because we may have a great thought, a great idea, which is the electric impulse that we send it out to the field. We hold the vibration of feeling, the magnetic principle, for a moment, and then we let it go. Because our emotions, remember, the body is the mechanism through which we experience emotions, physically, physiologically, and emotionally, energetically. So energy is moving and being conducted throughout the body, through our neurons and through our nervous system. So when we unsubscribe from our desires, we do so unconsciously because we fall back into old patterns, old beliefs about the self. I am yet to see evidence that change will occur in my outer world. Therefore, I must not be doing something right. Therefore, I must not be worth it. Therefore, it must not be my destiny to experience this upgrade. Therefore, I must not be loved by the universe or heard, or this is proof again that I can't get something right. It's proof again that other people get what they want before I get what I want. Does that make sense? So the 1 + 1 = 1 means that one thing equals everything. When you can align the electric pulse that is broadcast to the field with the feeling magnetic pulse that is emitted into the field and returned back to you, magnetized back to you, they become one reality, a single powerful construct called experience. And that experience is what you enroll yourself mentally, physically, energetically in each moment. And it doesn't take necessarily the hour, the 2 hours, the 5 hours, whatever, to do that. At the beginning, you need to mobilize energy. You need to free up the density within the body, which is why it's important to meditate and to use visualization principles and guided practices so that you are moving the energy within the body away from it being stuck and stifled or oscillating, bouncing up and down, you're moving the energy and you're freeing it so that it does what it naturally is called to do, which is to create. Energy is a creative force. Your thinking and your feeling are the creative aspects or attributes of energy. So, energy is both electric and magnetic. So you being who you want to be and who you desire to be in this now moment brings about the experience that you desire to experience. It is moment by moment awareness that by doing the meditation, by doing the guided visualization, by taking action during your day, aligned action towards the outcome that you desire, inevitably and invariably draws to you that which you desire. It may be through a different form, it may be through a different type of vehicle, how it comes. Because we must create a destination, an outcome, a result, an experience for our mind and our heart to focus on. And if it is unified, and when it is unified, then the unified principle is the fifth dimension, which is everything is now. Everything is now. Every thought, word, and action exists now. So what do I choose now? This is quite a liquid state. And to the untrained mind and to the old conditioned heart, we feel stuck. We feel that if everything is now, then the old self would say that everything does not change or nothing changes at speed. I'm anxious for change. I'm impatient for change. I'm untrusting or distrusting of change. Starting to ring some bells? So our inner conversations produce our outer reality. Our inner imaginings are the creative force that produces our experiences. That which we imagine and that which we enroll ourselves in moment by moment is that which we experience as reality. So we think at the time of this podcast, there's around 7.5, 7.6 billion people on the planet. Therefore, there are 7.5 billion realities. 7.5 billion realities, and that's just on the planet. And we're not even talking about the animal kingdom or the elemental kingdom or anything else. So those realities are created from us as individuals because we all have, each of us has a unique lens through which we see the world. We have a unique lens through which we operate in the world. That does not override the fundamental fact that natural law exists, whether we believe it or not believe it, whether we subscribe to it or do not subscribe to it, the fundamentals still remain. And science is catching up to mysticism. And I know there will be some people out there that will actually say that science is the contemporary language of mysticism. There's a truth in that. However, science is catching up with mysticism. Mysticism is really the understanding of the laws. It's the understanding of the nature of energy, the nature of reality. So when you desire change, you must be the change first. And you may have heard that many times, the Gandhis and the other, big movement leaders through the ages. You must be the change first. So when you are listening and observing the inner conversations you are having with yourself about yourself and about another or about the world about you or around you, observe what is the language you are using to describe the self or the other or the world around you. What are the feelings that you are observing and experiencing about the self, about the other, and about the world around you? Because emotions are the language of the soul. So when we have 1 + 1 = 1, we are at a fifth dimensional capacity in a fifth dimensional reality operating as a unified experience. The thought and the feeling are unified as one expression of creation. So at the beginning, it feels like I've got this thought and I match it with this feeling, and those two produce this outcome or this result, this experience. But as you get stronger and more confident and more capable in this, your capacity to manifest and to create at will, there is no longer the separation between the mind and the heart, between the electric and the magnetic. They become unified, and they are working in unison, in tandem, in balance. Does that make sense? So what I'd encourage you to do today is really to sit with the self and to ask, what is the burning desire that is moving upwards within me? What does my energy, what do I want to express and experience in the world? And take a couple of moments to do that. And then write them down. Write down the experiences that you wish to have, you seek to have, based on your belief or perception that they do not currently exist in your reality. So what I want typically is birthed from a void or a lack. But if we stay in the lack of the not havingness, then the lack will produce more lack. The not havingness will produce the feelings of more not havingness. So observe what you want. That's the mental. And then go about, how would you feel if what you desired eventuated, came true, that what you desire was fulfilled? How would you feel? Play the game. Well, I would feel excited. I would feel euphoric. I would feel peace. I would feel harmony, or I'd feel balanced, or I'd feel, calm, whatever it's going to be. I'd feel confident. I'd feel powerful. I'd feel in awe. I'd feel unstoppable. I'd feel empowered, whatever it may be. The end result, the experience, is arrived at through emotion. The end result or experience is arrived at through a combination and a balancing, a unifying of the thought and the feeling. The unifying of the electric and the magnetic. So as you observe what you want, and as you observe and articulate, writing down how you would feel if it were true, if your desires fulfilled were true, that is what you give your attention to. And then the next part really is, who have you become in the realization of your goal, in the realization or the fulfillment of your desire? Who have you become? Who are you being? What is your state of being? Yes? And so your state of being may be, I feel more liquid and more free. I feel more excited and more charmed by life. I feel more encouraged. I feel limitless. I feel present and available. I feel open and transparent. I feel aligned and authentic. I feel in love and loved by myself, by others, by life. I feel empowered. See where I'm going with this? So you produce a construct which is a reality based on the strength at the strength of the attention that you give that new reality. And so we go back to the beginning of this podcast and to many of the other podcasts, and you'll hear me reference many, many times that we want to kick and scream on our way into the new future. We want to give up more times than we want to win. We want to throw in the towel because we believe we're not destined for greatness or destined to fulfill our desires. That's why we are here. We are here to fulfill our desires. And that may come through mission, through purpose, through contribution, through all those sorts of narratives as well. But we are here as creators. That is my firm belief. And we are here with two primers, as I'll leave you to consider in this podcast. One is to learn how to master energy, learn how to manipulate and command energy. Number 2 is to shed density. So when we learn how to master energy, we're learning how to shapeshift. We're learning how to shift realities. We're learning how to upgrade and evolve by dropping density. Density is the old mind. Density is the old way of thinking. Density is the old way of feeling. Density is the old reality carried around in the current state and it carries the belief that nothing will change. It's hard, it's heavy, it's slow, it's dense. Make sense? So I'll leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Go back and listen to the previous one of Manifesting 101 and link these together, and you'll have some extra pearl drops, extra little drops of wisdom that will make its way, permeate its way through your daily life. So from me here to wherever you are in the world, remember to dream a better dream. And remember, it's all you, baby. See you in the field.